Survivor's ready. Go!
Travis spoken.
Boston Rob and Amber are gonna do it.
This is a business trip, as I like to say.
You Brad Culpepper.
I'm tired of you and the fucking chicken.
You can call me the puppet master. They can be my little puppets.
It's not like you make me deal with the devil here.
You get to milk your own milk, I guess.
We got enough rocks here, too. We could build a pretty decent shelter just using rocks.
I'm supposed to talk glamour.
Direct from Hobart, it's time for the only Survivor podcast in Australia dedicated to Survivor, bringing you the latest interviews, episodes, and opinions from the greatest reality show on the planet. It's Survivor Oz, and here's your host.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Survivor Oz, Australia's podcast that talks about trailers from Australian Survivor like half an hour after they come out, because we are dedicated fans to this damn show. We are back for yet another episode. I don't know, it could be an Ozlet show, it could just be Australia show, it could be Amazing Race Oz for all you know, but we will be talking about Australian Survivor much closer to when I thought we would compared to when we recorded our last episode. We said maybe end of July we would do another episode, but who would know, on the 29th of June at night they would put a promo up. I think Cable said it may have aired on TV, I'm not sure, I don't watch Channel 10. Don't listen to that if you're listening to Channel 10, but they post it on their Facebook page, and we'll probably post it on the site for you to watch, either with this episode or separately, who knows. But a lot of new stuff to talk about, and there was also an interview with one of the executive producers of the show that came out a few weeks ago, so there's some new info there, and we're dedicated to this Australian Survivor thing, so we're going to bring you every single update we can. But I am joined with some people to talk about this. Firstly, it is from Adelaide. He's been on every one of these Australian Survivor-based episodes. It's Ryan Brink. Ryan, welcome back.
Noah, pretty excited to be here. Like, I guess we were all sitting on the couch just watching TV like normal, and bang, this advert was dropped, and, you know, it's 2 minutes. There's some juicy information that we'll go through and talk about. But yeah, I can't wait to talk about this season. It's got me really excited for it to finally come. Like, I just want it to be on air already.
I feel like there's never any like teasing with this Australian Survivor thing. It's just like, bang, Australian Survivor is happening. Bang, here's a trailer. Bang, here's some more info. They really don't like to get us teased and excited. They just drop it on us, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, I like it
don't
too.
want to be anxiously waiting. Just give me my info. But along with Ryan, we've got one other guest, a very special guest. It is Jonathan LaPaglia. We're very lucky to have this guest because they're actually filming at the moment, but this was a part of a Sprint reward challenge. So we can bring this person via iPhone, the latest Sprint phone. I don't know, Sprint iPhone, I don't know, I'm speaking gibberish here, but it's Ben is back. Not Ben Powell, it's Ben Waterworth is back on a Sprint reward. Must be, what, final 8, final 7 at this point?
I got so fucking excited there. I thought Ben Powell was back. I'm like, fuck, this is brilliant. How good is this? Yeah, no, definitely. Final 7, I think we're up to right now. But yeah, no, I'm speaking to you from the Samoan jungle. I literally just won a challenge, and funnily enough, somehow a challenge, a reward is to record an episode of Survivor Oz. So I'm very lucky somehow that they came into partnership with us, and here I am, you know, just back, and posted an episode yesterday saying, I'm taking a bit of a break. So
I feel like it's very anticlimactic because at the time of recording it's been just over 24 episodes since that episode saying I won't be on.
But yes, but in all seriousness, it's good to be back. It has been a while. I don't even remember the last episode of Survivor Oz I was on, except for the episode when I called up and got angry. Who got voted out? I can't even remember.
That was Kelly Wigglesworth.
Oh.
You beat on before that.
Far out, Kelly Wigglesworth.
I believe it's Co-Wrong episode 2, because I remember that week very clearly, because I scrambled to get a Colin to record about Liv Kim's very sad departure.
Well, I should just say that, yes, no, it hasn't been that long, but I'm Nomad Ben now. I'm on the path to enlightenment. I'm actually in Melbourne. On an iPhone. You mentioned that. We're not just trying to get sponsorship by Apple, but Apple, if you're listening, we would love lots of money. And, you know, it's so fun to be in Melbourne on a couch with a cat on my lap that I thought I would let Noah host. Not that I really have any say in it, because I haven't been on this show for ages, so fuck that. It's like, whatever, Ben, you're not in charge anymore.
You've been demoted.
Yes. It's in the Survivor Oz constitution. If the host steps away for a couple of months, 2IC must take over.
Everyone's gone up in the ranks, and now you're just an intern.
I am literally Ben Powell.
So hopefully we can give you a full-time Ozlet position, but we'll see how your internship goes.
I hope I get fired and I can post negative posts about Survivor Oz soon. So
join the queue.
I'm gonna start calling the host a homophobe very shortly. So it's all good.
When you get back from filming, of course.
Yes, sorry. We don't have long because Jonathan's ready to ask if our survivors are ready.
Yeah, I feel like it's not a lot of people will probably listen to this episode. It's not like it's a American Survivor recap, although I'm sure some Americans will listen to it. And it was just like the 10 people that listen will be like, "Oh, Ben's on this one."
Who?
Who? Who's Ben? The host? The host? Sorry, I don't understand you.
Rest in peace, PB
Anderson. Anyway, we should get a move on. So it was very exciting that we had this video, and it really did get you pumped, despite the god-awful song that played along with it.
Hey.
I liked I'm sure you probably love that song.
I'm a Destiny's Child fanboy.
With Die Another Day.
Ryan's a Destiny's Child fan too, aren't you, Ryan?
Oh, definitely. All the hits.
But I feel like I didn't love the video purely because it was all challenges, pretty much. But apart from that, it was really exciting because this really, for all intents and purposes, is our first glimpse at the show. This seems like it's real footage from the show. I mean, it could have been Dream Teamers, but I think they promoted it as your first look at the 24 Aussie castaways. So even though I wish we saw more than just challenges, I don't want to be too greedy, it was pretty super exciting. What do you think, Ben?
Well, it's very Channel 10. Can I just point that out? Like, each network, for all Australians listening, would know that they have their very unique styles of editing promos. I mean, if this was Channel 7, you know, we would have probably seen it about 100 times already this evening, and you'd be sick of it because Channel 7 overblows their advertising, and it's not as happy as it would be on Channel 7. Channel 9's more just like, "Oh, Scott Can, g'day, how are you? The block, and please watch it because we need people to watch us because we're shit now." And Channel 10's just like light and fluffy with a bit of music and, you know, that same voiceover person and everything. So it fits the style of the network. Yeah, but I agree with you. It's good to kind of get like a real first look at it. And one thing that I think really stands out is it's very high production value. Like, I mean, I remember, the one episode of this I've done, I remember we talked about our wishes, and obviously a key thing that we want, the most of us agreed we wanted compared to the first Australian version, is that we want it to be similar to the US version, because, I guess that's the one that is, you know, the biggest in the world and what we're used to. So it looks like that. That last shot of Jonathan on the beach and the fade out was very, Jeff Probst, although it sadly wasn't like, Jeff Probst's action shot turning to the camera in the middle of the thing.
With the boat.
Yes. But, first look at the cast and kind of the challenges. And, I don't want to sort of get too much into my opinions of what they look like and all that. It looks good. The song, I don't even think that was the Destiny's Child version. I think it was a random cover. But let's be honest, it's taken 16 years for that song to be used in advertising the TV show Survivor. Every time I hear that song, I think of the TV show Survivor. So And it's not one of Destiny's Child's best songs, let's be
As
honest.
long as it's not in the damn show. I'm
Again,
fine,
it's
but
not
if
Channel
that's
7.
in the premiere, I will really shoot
It's not
myself.
Channel 7. We're not starting off, it's going to be the best time of our lives. But, no, look, it's exciting and it's good. I think it's good also to see Jonathan in a bit of action. You know, now that...
Yeah, first glimpse of old Jono.
Now that we know he's the host, and I mean, obviously, you guys talked a lot about him in the last episode, which was great, by the way. I've listened to it many times. You know, it's good to kind of see him a little bit in action, and he really does look the part. Sound the part? Well, maybe not necessarily, but look the part. They're on a winner in terms of getting someone to be very Jeff Probst-ish. Much better than Lincoln Howes. Sorry, Lincoln, I know you've been on this show, but we don't miss you.
I did actually listen to the Lincoln interview the other day.
It's a good interview. He's
out
very
to
honest
Lincoln.
and very open about it, so listen to it.
Yeah, one of the few repeat listens of a Survivor.
The only time anybody's ever gone back and re-listened to the Lincoln Howes episode of Survivor Oz.
Yeah, so there's we've got a fan question from Noah Groves in Snack. So it's a very old interview. Yeah, I will just update you. We've got a new nickname. It's not Jonathan LaPaglia, it's Jono. We're calling him.
Jono.
Anyway.
Can I just take this?
Jonathan's too formal. It's Jono.
I just want to take this shameless moment to plug myself because, you know, I haven't been on this show for a very long time and it's been a long time since I've tried to one-up myself. But I have interviewed Jonathan LaPaglia. I happened to... again, I'm sidetracking. Sorry, Ryan, I know you want to talk, but this is...
No,
me.
good.
Shut up. I'm allowed to come back. But I was at the Australian Grand Prix a couple of years ago and he was in the celebrity race. I think he got second, so he was in the post-race press conference. And got a chance to ask him a couple of questions. And after the interview, because of course none of the journalists go and interview the celebrity drivers, they're all there to interview the V8 supercar drivers and that, because we're in the pleb section, not the Formula One section. So literally myself and my co-host of the qualifying lap, Ryan qualifying lap, we were the only journos in the room, so we could just go up and talk to them because no one else gave a shit. So we just went up to him and got a photo with him and had a bit of a chat with him, and he's a super nice guy. And I was very excited when they announced him as a host. So that's my opinion, going back to the last episode. Anyway, shut up, Ben.
Do you still have the interview?
I would somewhere, yes.
Post it on.
It only went for very short. It wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't like the Grant Bowler interview, but anyway.
Yeah. Bring back Grant. But yeah, we'll touch on everything that you mentioned there. But Ryan, it's only a few hours old, but what did you think of the video? First glimpse of the show.
Yeah, I guess a lot of the things I would agree with what Ben just said. So I thought the production value was so fantastic, and it's great to see that 10 has put a big budget into this to make it look like a genuine Survivor season. I think that was really, really important. I guess in terms of the Destiny's Child song as well, we hear that song, it's just oh, not this crap again. I will say my wife, who I would say is not even a casual, she's a very semi-casual. I walked down, she was watching Offspring, they played the advert, and she was singing along to it. So it gets those people who really don't watch Survivor. She's oh, this looks cool. So yeah, I think it's good for those kind of casuals who really have no idea about it. We'll draw them in.
Sorry to butt in.
Yeah, go.
This is the last time we're talking about this stupid song, so we'll get it out the way. It did go well. The visuals, I could see people like Ryan's wife getting pumped up. The song is just awful in my opinion, but it did go well with the visuals as a promo.
I love that you're talking about Ryan's wife getting pumped up. Oh, honey, I fucking love this. Let's do something else.
Well, Ben's back.
Yep. That's the after show.
Sorry, Ryan.
That's fine.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry.
No. Look, I think that's the thing. That's this kind of advert has to appeal to probably the people who are going to watch it, but it also needs to appeal to people who have not seen Survivor before or haven't seen Survivor. I know you were talking about maybe since season 8 or 9 or 10, Noah, in the last podcast we did. So it needs to attract those people back to the show, and I think for what it is, I think it did a good job. I think it's interesting, some of the terminology and wording that came out of it, similar to what I guess we heard about in the pre-launch they had, where they had the similar theme where people were talking about what they're going to do on the show. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out, but I'm just so excited about. I just want to see it now. So and look, they're still filming. They've still got about 2.5 weeks left of filming to do. So it's going to be interesting to see. When they start to airing it and all that.
Yeah, they are still filming, but I also just thought about it, and it's really not that far away at all. Like, we will be getting this thing in the next 2 to 3 months.
September,
Yeah,
isn't
definitely.
it?
What was that?
I think it's September, I believe. September, October.
We were thinking August, September.
Last
Last
weekend in
week-
August.
Post Olympics, probably.
Yeah,
when
post-Olympics.
that's a good point. I reckon you could be right there. Good thinking.
I think it will be before Millennials versus Gen X, aka MILFs versus GILFs.
Can I just
you've
point
missed
out?
a lot, Ben.
I just want to point out. I haven't missed a lot because I haven't had a chance to vent my anger at that worst title for a season of Survivor ever. Okay, just pointing it out there.
Yeah, we've got a new title for it. We're calling it MILFs versus GILFs.
That's our dream
You have to
season.
listen. You have to listen to the episode for that title. I think Colin may.
It's a very sexist title, you know. Like, what about the DILFs and the grandpas?
Well, 4 tribe season. But yes, so yeah, I think they'll air it before MILFs versus GILFs. I don't think they would wouldn't you think they would want to launch it, like the big launch before that starts? But anyway, I think we should just dive into it. And I think the one thing all three of us mentioned was the production values, and they were hyping up the production values. Like, yes, it's going to be amazing. We've got this camera crew.
They have a
and
camera
it's the
crew?
same-
Oh, that's handy.
Well,
That's very
it's
high
the-
production
it's the
value for
crew that
Australia.
did, well, they kept talking about this is the best production crew for a reality show in Australian history and all this stuff. And it is the same guys that did Amazing Race Australia, and that was pretty high quality.
So we are going to have the best day of our life being used in this
Yeah.
thing.
So the production quality, if you took away like Jono, you took away the voiceover and everything like that, I would think it's season 34 of Survivor. I'm not joking. It looked like American Survivor. So I was very impressed. I hope that's not like they spent hours on this one trailer to touch it up, and then we actually watch it. It's filmed on like a wooden camera or something. Hopefully they're not tricking us like Snow Dog style. So
Still haven't forgotten about
know.
Snow Dogs.
I haven't gotten over that. That's what
The new one is Independence Day 2, all right? They don't trick you into watching that
That's the
crap.
new Snow Dogs. So yeah, it just made me 100 times more pumped because they kept telling us it would be high production, all that, but obviously you don't believe them until you see it, and it looked like a Survivor season. So even if it's really bad, at least it's got that one thing going for it.
I'm looking forward to seeing the promo for New Zealand Survivor now because they're going to be like, oh, shot, we've got to improve on those Aussies. No, I definitely.
It's going to be filmed on a black and white camera.
It's just
Real.
bunch of sheep. I definitely agree with you, and kind of going back to what Ryan was saying too about how it's a good way of like. I think it did a good job of mixing, teasing for the fans and the people who have not watched it in how long, or for the millennials who have never heard of Survivor before. I'm sure there is like.
And the guild.
There's probably like, some family somewhere in Australia where they're, avid Channel 10 viewers that never turn their TV off anything but Channel 10, and they've got like a 16-year-old who, is so in love with Grant Denyer and the fat guy from MasterChef that, they don't even know what Survivor is. So they're like, oh, this is a new show. I like how they pump it up
Well,
as
that's
like...
a good point, because there are 16-year-olds. There are people who are graduating from high school. Well, not in the mainland, but in Australia, Tasmania, you'd be graduating from high school this year, who weren't born when Survivor started.
Yeah,
Let that sink in.
it's kind of scary, but they pump it up, the world's biggest reality show or the most successful reality show of all time, and when you said it's very much, if you didn't hear Jonathan and the Channel 10 voiceover guy, who I swear has had that job for about 20 years, he, like a lot of these other networks seem to change their voiceover guys. That guy just doesn't leave the booth at Channel 10 Studios. What are we recording this week? All right.
I wish Jono did the voice.
Oh.
Probes would have done
Well, somebody needs to like edit it, get like a Jeff Probst voiceover, and just dub it over to make it
they
like.
could've got Jeff. Like, I'm here filming Survivor 30.
They probably will. They'll probably get some like brief, like 5-second clip. You know,
Need a Jeff cameo in the promo.
yeah, he'll be a reward.
Like Rupert in Survivor.
Hey, can they get Rupert for a reward? Like,
Yes, well, he's done the Israel reward, so we need Rupert for Australians. Hashtag Rupert for Australian Survivor.
if Rupert or any Survivor is a reward, I will lose my shit.
Rhea! Laura! I'm going on a holiday.
And now I'm on Australian Survivor.
How you going, mates?
But yeah, it's. I mean, I kind of, I guess, am a little bit surprised it looks so good. I mean, I think deep down, most of us are very skeptical of how shit it could be because, you know, I think like, I mean, I vaguely do remember the Australian Survivor promos back in 2002, and it's not like it looked shit. Like, you know, they did a fairly good job at promoting it. Like, I mean, you know, the promo department at any TV station, you know, has to make people watch it. Like, I'm sure there were some people who wanted to watch Bringing Sexy back based off the promos, and then they watched it, and they were like, this is shit. So, we did. We were the one viewers of that episode. But, yeah, I think it's boding very well how they're doing it. And I think that if this keeps up, I mean, obviously we're going to get more promos between now and its premiere, of course. But, you know, I hope it sticks to what we're seeing right now because it will be very, very good if it does stick that way.
You already touched on it, but the production values, Ryan, it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, like Ben said, it's fantastic, I guess. We're 2016. They're using HD cameras, which is fantastic, which I guess it could have easily been a worry. But yeah, they're using proper cameras, not GoPro, so that's really positive. And like, I honestly think that just looking at the advert and seeing some of the cutaway shots they showed, like I'm pleased to see that it looks like a genuine Survivor season. And like you guys have said, if you put it on mute and watch it, it could be a US season that you've seen. So I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, you mentioned no GoPros. What's the bet? 2016. There's going to be like drones everywhere on that island.
Oh, definitely.
So we should have a drone count when the season starts. But yeah, it really does look awesome, and we can only hope they didn't touch it up for the trailer and it lives up to that hype. But moving on, I think this was probably the most notable thing from the trailer was it's pretty damn near confirmed that it's 3 tribes now, considering we saw 24 people, some wearing red buffs, with the actual buff logo on buffs, which was cool, some wearing blue buffs, and some wearing yellow buffs, and I highly doubt they just spoiled the yellow
No green buffs?
Well, maybe coming. Whether or not it's 3 tribes of 8 at the start, which my money is on that, or at 21 they do a Survivor Cambodia twist and like bring in a 3rd Angkor tribe, we don't know, but I would be highly shocked. Like, this would be some good manipulation if it wasn't 3 tribes at this point, considering there were not only 3 buffs, but in one of the challenges with the big structure, which again, the challenges look legit as well. Everyone knows that I freaking hate challenges, especially in New Survivor.
So it's not going to be on a
legit.
beach. The fire can't light. Oh, so we'll just give up on the challenge.
Yeah.
Australian Survivor 1.0.
Oh well. So yeah, it's 3 tribes. Let's just say it. Maybe it won't be, but it's 3 tribes. So it makes sense. I'm kind of shocked because, you know, you'd think they would go with a traditional season to start it off, but 3 tribes have been all the rage in modern Survivor, like every season since, like, Cagayan, besides San Juan del Sur, has featured 3 tribes.
Yeah.
And going forward, no doubt, 35, 34 will feature 3 tribes. Millennials versus Gen X may do the Cambodia twist. It's all the rage.
They'll bring in senior citizens tribe.
Yeah, the DILFs. Or
the great DILFs.
But it makes sense from, like, also the point that we're going to have tons of episodes this season, 20 plus episodes, that having 2 tribes, you run the risk of an alliance of 6 on both tribes just doing everything. So at least there's more stories to tell with 3 Tribes of 8. And it would be a really interesting experiment because, like, 3 Tribes of 8, they could try it in the American one time, like, for an All-Stars or something. They wouldn't, but they could, so I'm not totally against this. If you're going to have 24 castaways, I would probably rather 3 Tribes of 8 over 2 Tribes of 12. Not that it can confirm that it's 3 Tribes of 8, but Ben, are you pro, anti that we're going to have 3 tribes for the kickoff? And what do you think about 3 Tribes of 8 as well, rather than 3 Tribes of 6? And anything about the buffs, if you've got anything to mention. I don't think you're much of a buff person like me.
I'm quite buff, thank you. Like, I try my best. Well, I think this is maybe a good thing that we're going to get like multiple episodes a week if we've got 3 Tribes of 8, because I mean we knew that there was going to be 24 people, but the fact that with 3 tribes, I mean I'm a 3 tribe fan. I always have been. I guess we're kind of a bit overblown on 3 tribes now that it is the norm. But it could work, as you said. It's a good experiment. I don't know how much though American Survivor will take off Australian Survivor. I mean, it's not like they turned around and like, oh god, that Israeli version of Survivor did this great thing. We should do that. I mean,
well, yes, they did. The Israeli version brought Rupert in. Let's bring him back.
True. That was all Israeli Survivor's fault. But I mean, I think it could work. I mean, again with the multiple episodes, it's just obviously the danger of it, not turning into like so many people getting ignored on the tribes, I guess. And I mean, I guess too with like the episodes, I mean, a lot of Australian reality TV shows generally go for a lot longer than 42 minutes, without ads. Like for the most part, Australian reality shows go for an hour, without ads or a bit longer. So, I mean, it can spread it out a little bit too. Buffs, I mean, I like buffs. They're good to collect. But like, red, blue and yellow, like, where's the newspaper print? Where's the clear? Like, where's the poo brown? Like, we've given so many ideas over the years on this show that I'm still devastated it's only just the green that's taken off. But, I mean, they look like they're nice buffs. I'm glad that they're wearing them. I don't really know what to add. I didn't write the top 10 buffs on our website, so... Well,
at least they have buffs.
Well, exactly. At least they have buffs. They don't just have, like, a piece of ribbon tied around their arm or something like that.
One thing I do hope is, because there's 24 players, obviously you need to, like, weed them down. I know we're having multiple episodes a week and probably multiple eliminations, but I hope we get some things like, I don't know, 21 players left, only 1 tribe wins immunity and 2 tribes go to tribal council, because they've never done that on a 3 tribe season. So I hope we get things like that, and then like a swap at 20 into 2 or something. I don't know, but I just hope we see some more experimenting with this whole 3 tribe thing. But Ryan, it's pretty much confirmed now. We've got 3 tribes in this season.
Yeah, I'm a fan of 3 tribe seasons as well, so I'm excited that they've decided to do 3 tribes, considering they're starting with 24. I just looked at the numbers, and you think 2 tribes of 12 is probably too big. 4 tribes of 6 is it like too much? So it's probably just right in the middle, which is pretty good. I guess in terms of the tribes, like I know there was something posted the other day on Hamish and Andy where they posted about like 2 girls would want some prize to go to Samoa, and they were wearing a red buff and a blue buff. So, and on those buffs, you could make out the names. Like I did a few zoom-ins, and we had the blue tribe, which was the Snapu tribe, and the red tribe, which was the Aganoa tribe. And if you actually look that up on the map, which I did in Samoa, it's pretty much where they're filming as well. It's 2 beaches of where they're filming. So it'll be interesting to see what the yellow tribe is called. But yeah, I'm excited for a 3 tribe season. And look, like everyone said here, like, it's going to be interesting to see how they start to whittle down. And I like your idea about having 1 tribe win and 2 tribes go to tribal council. I think that's a really cool idea. It's something that we haven't seen before. So I wouldn't mind if they did that in some kind of like double elimination episode.
So, yeah, well, I wonder why there wasn't a 3rd girl with the yellow, but...
Couldn't afford it.
Yeah, either it's like it's going to be a twist and like they started at 2 tribes of 24. Or maybe they start with 24 people and then like a Fiji or something like that. Who knows? You can just tell, even though I'm optimistic, you can tell they're going to do classic Australian reality, like just twists that are all over the shop. Another thing that we got to see was our first glimpse of old Jono in the hosting role. And obviously this is just, like, this may have been on his first day of shooting or even before the shoot actually began. I've got mixed opinions. He definitely looks the part, like you said, Ben. But at the same time, I really liked his opening. But then the ending was a bit anticlimactic. Like, at the end of that trailer, he's like, who will be the winner? And I thought there was going to be more. Find out on Survivor! But that was just the end, and it just zoomed out. It was like, that's it. I was like, oh. But he's just like, he looks like a good personality, like a good host. And it's more chilled out than Probst. And obviously it's first week on the job. It's not going to be as well as he is by the end of the season, of course. We mentioned that last episode. But he just looks like he's a likeable host. And I just hope he's a bit more enthusiastic as the season goes on. But I like the kind of chilled out nature. But I feel like because Jeff is so like, so one survivor, dig woman, and all this stuff, I feel like there's just going to be so many comparisons against Jeff that people go, oh, well, Jeff's really excited and Jono's just... But I liked it, but really need to see more. But I just loved that we got to see the first glimpse of Jono as the host.
I definitely think the comparisons are going to happen from the first, like, minute he talks. Like, they're already happening right now in the trailer. Like, it's... And he knows that. I think everybody knows that. I mean, that's one key thing, I think, with any international version or other version of Survivor. You're always going to compare it to Probst, no matter what. But, I mean, yeah, definitely looks the part. Absolutely looks the part. But, yeah, I agree with you, like, at the end, like, he's very somber. He's just like, guys, watch us, and we'll see who the survivor is. Like, sit with me and enjoy the afternoon, and together we'll discover who the sole survivor is. Like, it's just like, you know, calm Jono. Like, is that what we're going to refer to him after? He's going to be like, come on in, guys. Yes, Bill was voted out yesterday. Real shame. So let's get on.
You don't know what you're playing for?
Let's see what you're playing for, guys.
Can I tell you what you're playing for?
It's going to be like, Noah, unfortunately the tribe has spoken.
Okay.
It's just going to be like, you know, calm Jono.
Dig, woman, dig.
Please, would you dig, woman? If you like, it's okay. It's up to you.
All the fixing.
Chicken nugget eating competition. But look, you know, I mean, it's a trailer, I guess. But I mean, having said that, again, we were talking about how, like, the publicity department, like, too bad if, like, that was his, like, 50th take, and they were like, Jono, you've got to be more excited. And he's like, oh, okay, sorry, guys, I'll be more excited. I mean, didn't he play like?
Oh, damn, we should have got Grant.
Didn't he play like some super bad guy on Underbelly? Like, why doesn't he just like channel his underbelliness, you know, and just shoot someone?
Shoot them all.
We definitely needed in a Grant. You're team number one. Like, but look, I think, you know, I mean, we've only probably seen a good 30 seconds of Jono in action. You know, but right now looks the part. Might need to just get a bit more excited.
Ryan, we were pretty high on Jono in our last episode. Still on the Jono train, or are you a bit cautious now?
No, I'm still on the Jono train. Look, every time I see Jono, I think, thank God it's not Grant Denyer. So, like, that's a positive. Like, I think the thing is, as you said in the last podcast, we can't judge Jono based on even this first season. Like, we've got to remember Jeff Probst the first season, how raw he was as well. We've got to take a step back, let him develop and find his own role. I think that he'll be fine. It's going to be interesting when we have those tribal councils. I think that's going to be really vital. I hope that they have some kind of producer there that's going to be even feeding him some more probing questions. Then possibly I'm a bit fearful that he might ask. Like, we don't want to love in at these tribals. We want, you know, like Jeff does. He really digs deep. He finds those really good questions to ask. So I'm hoping that Jeff has that in him. I think he's obviously very intelligent. He was a doctor, so he has that intelligence. Hopefully he's able to bring that out and really get some really good answers out of people when, they're at tribals.
I think Jono just needs to go through that cowboy hat phase, and like that's the rites of passage. And once you emerge from not having to wear a cowboy hat, you know that you're the man for the job. Once you've got through the cowboy hat phase. So someone who's good at Photoshop, there's a job for you. So yeah, I'm excited. I hope we get more Jono interviews coming up, because all the interviews he did before the season, he was just kind of saying the same things. But he was very zen in those interviews as well. Like, he's very likable, but in the interviews before, he's like, yes, it's going to be hard to beat Jeff and all the stuff. Like, he's very zen, so hopefully he brings out the inner demons during the season at least a few times. The third and final big thing about the trailer itself was we got to see glimpses of the cast. I'm not sure if it was all cast. It looked like some of those people in like the water shots may have been Dream Teamers or just like promo people, but we saw a good amount of the cast. Like, nothing substantial. We didn't get names or anything like those previews they do in the reunion shows where we see like confessionals, but we did get some voiceovers and we got to see a fair bit of the cast. A lot of boobs, like a lot of close-up boob shots, and a lot of muscly guys. So again, it's hard to tell because there was just all the shots are really like short and fast. But it does seem like they're definitely going for the stereotype of like the real buff guys and the hot chicks. But then there was also like a guy with darker skin, so it seems like in terms of race, there's a bit of diversity there. We already know in age that the age is from 22 to 62, so there's diversity in age and race. I'm guessing it's 12 guys, 12 girls. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed. Obviously, we didn't see everyone, but I would have liked a bit of mix rather than just all like real buff guys and hot chicks. And we also got kind of really forced confessionals about their professions. Like, they weren't scripted at all. But, like, one thing I noticed, there's a lot of, like, police-style jobs. And, like, I don't know if they're trying to cash in on Tony, but there was a lot of, like, I'm a special analysis and I deal with this and all that. And also, Ryan, I thought you were on the season. Because it said, well, I'm a teacher, but I'm also a student of the game. So that's going to be... Because that made me think that we really don't see too many teachers on Main Survivor, which is kind of a thing you'd think would be on, like, a staple contestant. Oh, you've got the cop and you've got the teacher. But they really didn't show us too many other than, like, the cop... Not all cops, but that kind of profession and the teacher. We don't know about anyone else. So yeah, Ben, pretty much everything else in the trailer, the footage of the cast, the different voiceovers they had, it looks like a variety of people. There's people who are mentioning mateship, and listen to our past episode if you want to hear our thoughts on mateship, but also some people who say, I'm going to be the villain and blindside and betray. So yeah, pretty much the first glimpse of the cast, Ben.
Well, I can officially see now why I wasn't cast on the show. And I can officially say I know why I was never going to have a chance of being cast on this show because, as you said, it was a close-up of boobs and look at my six-pack. So clearly Australian Survivor is also very anti-fat, which, you know, I'm sad, Australian Survivor, like, fuck you. But please cast me next season.
But it's not a surprise.
And please don't hate us. But yeah, no, it's not a surprise. Like, we always knew that was going to be the case. You know, it's just how TV works. It's a TV show. Like, we don't want to have those close-ups of boobs, of men's boobs. I mean, sure, if you're into that, like, hey, I'll give you my number. But like,
this just took a weird turn.
I'm single now. It's all good. But yeah, like, there wasn't really anything surprising. Like, yeah, you said we kind of had like one non-Caucasian by the looks of things, and no doubt as soon as they release the cast, you know, if we've only got one non-Caucasian, we're going to have an outcry of, you know, blah, 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 which, you know, is, I think vastly different when it comes to Australia, but that's a whole other kettle of fish. And like the voiceovers and everything, like very stereotypical, like the whole teacher and a student of the game, like, you know.
They were very forced. I hope the confessionals aren't that forced.
Yeah, I think it was, you know, I mean, and this is, I think, back to the high production values, very similar to what we get on American, you know, Survivor now. We always get the same sort of things and blah, 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 blah. And, like, yeah, I mean, of course I heard the last episode you guys did. It was my favourite. But like, I didn't hear the mateship conversation. But, I mean, I rolled my eyes at that because, you know, again, this is a huge problem with the first season of Australian Survivor, is it just turned out into, hey, everybody, we're Rob's friend. Let's just be his friend and let him win the game. So
that's this season's biggest marketing point that's been in all the interviews, all the promos, mateship. It's like, did you not learn?
This is exactly the point. Like, exactly. Like, I mean, I know
that was the major number one problem.
Our culture here is obviously, you know, a lot different to America when it comes to that sort of thing, and you're always going to have that. But like, you know, even Big Brother Australia doesn't have a huge element of mateship about it to a certain extent. You know, The Amazing Race here didn't turn into the mateship bro down, you know. So I hope that by them marketing it this way, you know, it doesn't turn into what we had the last time. But I guess they need to sell it to these, you know, back to that Channel 10 family who's never watched another channel. You know, you got the dad who, you know, absolutely loves his mates and his bros and all that sort of stuff. So, like, oh, Cheryl, fuck, I'm going to watch Australian Survivor. Like, what did you say, Ryan? Your wife perked up? I'm like, oh, watch that.
Yeah, exactly.
How can I just go back to that? Like, seriously, she knows that you, like, host, you know, you're part of a Survivor podcast, that you like Survivor, and, like, legitimately she's only going to say, oh, I'm going to watch that based on what promo. What's this, Ryan?
No, completely. Survivor? Like, when I watch Survivor, she's out the room watching something else. So, yep. She's like, this is crap. She watched
close marriage.
She's seen Philippines, and that's about it.
Honey, let's sit down on the couch and watch TV. Just not when Survivor's on.
Survivor.
Whenever Malcolm's on, that's okay. But apart from that,
but you said that she watched Offspring, right?
Like, she does watch Offspring.
How do you last in that relationship?
Yeah,
like...
exactly. That's why I jumped. That's why I jumped on a podcast and talked to you guys.
I don't watch a lot of. Well, I don't watch any Australian reality shows. Screw Australian reality.
You watch Bringing Sexy Back?
Oh, except for Bringing Sexy Back. But I feel like villains are not celebrated like they are in America. I feel like people love the villains. But here it's like, on the news, and this person said this, and screw that villain. Like, this is just from a bystander who hears it from other people always complaining about the villains on. I
mean, to an extent, yes. I think, yeah, they're not as celebrated as much. But, like, Channel 7, let's go back to them. Like, all they ever do is promote the crap out of a My Kitchen Rules. Like, oh, this woman has a death stare and rolls her eyes every time. And
this person dropped an onion.
I think, like, when it came to Big Brother and we, you look at someone like Tim Dormer, who basically was a huge villain, but incredibly smart in the way he played things, and he was very well liked and respected. I mean, and again, you know, we've talked about before when it comes to Australian reality TV, we don't really have many of these shows like Survivor and Big Brother where it's not let's cook something or let's build something. You know, it's actually strategic. So I think you're right to a point with that. So it'll be interesting to see if we do have a big villain and just how that will play out, because, you know, I mean, let's go back, 10 or so years ago when it was all about the villain as judges, and Dicko said somebody looked a little bit overweight in their dress, and that was like national headlines the next day. So, you know, yeah, I think it's going to be... I hope we do have villains. I mean, what was it in Australian Survivor where that, what's her name, wanted to kill people? So, like, you know.
Crazy girl.
Yeah, what was her name? We love her.
Crazy.
That wasn't Shonya, was it? No. The other one. The one who didn't kill her partner and ended up in jail or died in a car accident in Africa. So, yeah.
The last remaining Final Four member.
The one who is still alive. No, Shonya's like a counsellor in Western Australia, isn't she? Oh, that's basically dead, so...
Hello to all our listeners.
They're 2 hours behind.
There's none of them.
Hi, Gemma.
Gemma, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Ryan, what did you think? We've got nothing substantial, like we don't know anyone's name, or we don't know who's the cop or who's the teacher, but we got a good, decent glimpse of the car.
Yeah, same as Ben. Look, the first thing I thought about when I saw that advert and I saw the abs, I saw the boobs, I was like, yeah, I can see why I didn't make it very far in casting. So,
Those boobs were more blatant than American.
they were. So, look, it's going to be interesting to see the types they cast. I think Ben raised a really good point about Tim Dormer. Like, I've just watched BB Canada as well, and he's on that season. Like, for all intents and purposes, Tim Dormer is a very attractive looking guy. Like, he's a very strategic player. So I'm hoping they found some people who are strategic, who know how to play the game. But, you know, it's going to be one of those mixes. I think it's going to be a really interesting cast. I think we're going to have people who've never seen the show. I think we're going to have people who have seen the show. So I just want to see how it goes.
Of the game.
Well, not the student of the game. He's obviously seen the show, but yeah.
It's good that we've got at least one fan.
And look, looking at those quotes as well, I wrote them down because I wrote an article for the Survivor Oz website, and one of them I wrote was one girl said, "Honesty can get you the full way if you believe in yourself." So
there was a lot of honesty, and I'm gonna do this and that.
See,
stop.
I would agree with that. I think honesty will get her the whole way as the GOAT. So she'll be fine, but like for the others, it's going to be interesting to see. And this, we talked about this again, mateship. Like, I know it's a really strong Australian core value of having mateship, but when you're playing for, I know it's 500,000, but when you're playing for the title of Sole Survivor, you're playing for a large amount of money. Like, mateship might be there for a while, but you got to place at the door. And I'm hoping that we see, like, if this big theme is mateship, I'm hoping we see people go against that mateship, and that's what makes the villains. So I'm still excited, and I think that it's just the way that it plays out that'll be interesting.
Well, we'll talk briefly about, there was this article that came out, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. It was a Q&A with the executive producer, Stephen Tate.
Yeah,
Stephen Tate. And he did say in that, and we'll talk about some of the things here, but he did say that there are blind sides in there. And Alliance has tested brilliant blind sides, he said. So it's not like we're going to be in for a complete begonging of mateship. But just some of the notable things that were said in that interview, and maybe we'll link the interview or something like that. One thing he did say, he confirmed hidden immunity idols are in the season, although he called it a secret immunity idol, and I hope that that's just Stephen Tate not being a fan of the show and they haven't actually changed the name of it. Because one thing that was just stupid about the original Australian is they changed things like that didn't need to be changed. Like, here's the immunity bell and just stuff like that. Like,
good old immunity
I
bell.
get you've got to change things. Like, you may have to change the theme song, but don't change things that don't need to be changed. So please don't call it a secret immunity idol. But I don't know if there's anything to discuss there.
Every single time that you've got a contestant, I found the hidden immunity idol. Can't, no, do it again.
No, secret immunity idol. But yeah, Benny, you glad that there are hidden immunity idols? They're a staple of American Survivor. Did you want a change, or do you think that they're vital? I know people hate on the immunity idols. I think they add drama to the show, and again, hating on Survivor fans, that's like my thing that I do, but people will always complain about immunity idols, but then when they talk about some of the best moments of the season, they often include immunity idols. So yeah, I'm fine with the secret immunity idols being in it.
I mean, I've never, like, I'm not one of these people who are like, they ruin everything. Like, yeah, I guess they can be used too much, but as you said, like, some of the best moments we've had, I mean, not just since they've been introduced, but probably you would say in the history of the show are related to idols, you know? I mean, you were always going to have them. I mean, if you didn't have them, then you're just going to have fans complaining the whole season that they're not in there. Like, oh, this isn't like the American version. And, like, all you're going to get all season is like, oh, this isn't like the American. Like, it's impossible. Like we were saying before about with Jono, like, you're always going to have comparisons no matter what you can. I mean, we're, again, doing it in this episode. We're always going to do it. So, I mean, look, it's fine. You know, secret immunity idol, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think, you know, didn't Lincoln say anything? You just listened to it, Noah. Didn't he say, like, he couldn't say the tribe has spoken, or he couldn't say something? Or
no, he had to say, I'll count the votes.
I'll count the votes and tally the votes.
I thought Australians wouldn't know what tally meant.
Right, okay. Well, so, I mean, maybe they don't know.
We're idiots.
So Australians don't know what hidden means. We only know what secret means.
Hidden? What's this hidden immunity idol?
Hidden, Cheryl? What's
hidden?
this? Like, again, let's put ourselves in the shoes of Ryan's wife. Like, she's wanting to watch Australian Survivor. Ryan, what's hidden mean? It's what I did with the Tim Tams, honey. You can't find them. The secret Tim. Oh, the secret Tim Tams. Got it. Not the hidden.
Secret. Oh.
Yes. So, I mean, look, if they end up calling it the secret immunity idol, they probably won't call it the immunity idol, it'll be the secret vote preventer. Like, I don't know, but I mean, they were always going to have it.
Medallion of power.
As long as they don't bring up this should have worked better in Nicaragua. Let's bring up the medallion of power, or the conch shell from like the very first season.
Oh, please bring back the conch shell.
But I mean, I'm fine with it. They're always going to do it, so I guess it's fine that they do.
As long as it's just one per camp, it's not like everyone gets an idol.
It's a surprise if you don't have one.
Yeah, yeah, that's why it's a secret, because everyone has one except for one person. Will they keep it a secret? Find out. That's something they would do. That's like Australian Survivor. Like, this week, the producers have given half of one tribe all idols. If they don't keep it a secret, then they must go to tribal council.
No, what they would do, if this was a Channel 9 show, they would promote it as something never before seen in any version of Survivor around the world. The secret immunity.
Secret immunity.
They did that with Big Brother. They're like,
is coming.
A twist that has never happened before, with like two people entering the house together. And like Kristen on our first episode of Big Brother Oz is like, they did it on this version, they did it on this version, they did it on this version.
Yeah, bring on the secret immunity idol. Ryan, anything to add on idols? They're going to be in this season.
Look, I'm excited that they're using idols. I think that for a season where we could have like a proportion of the cast who are completely dim-witted about the game, having this power over them would be fantastic. Like, I could see a situation where you could even play it off as like a Yul Kwan idol, and people might believe that. So who knows? Who knows how powerful this idol could be with people who really have no idea about the game? So I'm excited about it. So I'm like Ben said, I'm pleased that they are having the idol, because you would have had that debate. It's not like the American version if you don't have idols. So. But like you as well, Noah, I don't want heaps of idols. One per camp is enough. And even at the merge, if they have a merge, like, you don't really need another idol. Just leave it as it is.
I really hope that at least one of the tribes, someone who's never seen the show before, gets the idol. So it's like an Abby Maria type thing or something.
Yeah.
It's just, oh no, that person has the idol, like the blonde bimbo who's never watched Survivor in her life or something.
Well,
stumbles upon the idol.
Looking at this advert, there might be like 5 dumb blonde bimbos. So
all 5.
And how many of them are going to be from the Gold Coast? So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. This is like Russell Hanson's dream season.
They will have a Russell Hanson.
Well, that's probably going to be the twist. Like, never before seen in Survivor. It's blondes versus brunettes versus bald people.
Versus Russell Hands.
That's what the season is. Australians versus Russell Hands.
And he would still lose in the final.
Yeah,
He'd still lose in the final with a vote.
Oh, I could see them doing
That would be fantastic.
Poor Russell.
The king comes to Australia.
I'm the greatest of all time.
And then some person will be like, who the fuck's this yobbo?
Who's this troll?
He's like a Bogan from Bridgewater.
Another thing old Steve-O said was that we're going to have camps washed away. That he's already... Bit of a spoiler, Stephen, but it's clear just from that they are also going to focus on... like camp life as well, and not just strategy.
Or there's just like a massive flood that they can't prevent it. We were not focused on camp life, but fuck, he's a tidal wave.
There is no camp.
Teams must swim out onto a pontoon.
Bit of Australian Outback callback. He says spectacular challenges with nail-biting finishes, also known as the edit. Is made to look like every single challenge in Survivor is super close, when that's probably not the reality most of the time. There does seem to be an emphasis on challenges, which kind of worries me. I could see them doing like 3 challenges an episode or something like silly like that. And the other thing he said, which I think there was a bit of a discussion of this in our group, is he says we even have the reality holy grail, a developing romance. could work, but because it's Australian reality, I'm kind of worried about this bit.
Look, let's just be honest here. Like, again, you're never going to get a promotion person with any form of TV show going, yeah, well, the challenges are pretty shit. They're all one-sided. Nothing really happens with the environment. None of the players like each other, so there's no romance. And the challenges, yeah, just the shit in general. So, like, I mean, they've got to talk it up. Like, but, I mean, like a romance, like, that's so 2004. Like, you know, I mean, you think back to the original seasons of Survivor when, like, people were doing interviews, and of course, the first thing they're asking them, oh, did you guys hook up with anyone? Like, you know, I mean, great, we're going to have a romance, fantastic. But,
Romance has died with Adam and Candace.
well, it's like,
And Billy.
and it's, you know, I mean, yeah, okay, get it. American Survivor has had some very successful and still to this day long-standing relationships. I mean, Amber's about to pop out another 2 roses, so, you know, good on you, Amber. But, like, Australian reality love stories, like, you know, generally they're already in a relationship before they go on TV. Like, you know, let's build a house, whatever it is. And I think a lot of them break up, don't they? I mean, wasn't it Marty and Jess from Big Brother season 2? They, like, met and fell in love and divorced, and they hate each other now. So,
That classic Australian reality romance of Bazza and Shaz.
Bazza and
2005.
so, I mean, look, I don't know. Like, I mean, I mean, if you want love, watch The Bachelor. I mean, is this just a tie into The Bachelor? Like, is it Channel 10?
They're going to have all sorts of, like, one week it will be they have to build a house and whoever builds the best one wins a beauty. Next week they have to fall in love. The week after they have to cook some coconut popcorn. It's just going to be all the other reality.
Here's George from MasterChef coming to...
Special guest.
He's the Bachelor guy, Sam Wood and Osher Gumberg.
Jono, why is Heston Blumenthal on our beach?
And this week's challenge is sponsored by Grant Denyer. Of a survey of 100 people.
Family Feud board game.
How many people, you know, name something
that will be the challenge. That will be the special challenge.
Name something you would start a fire with.
That's what, you know how they do that challenge? It's like, who's least likely to win the game? And they're going to tie it into Family Feud, and they're going to bring in Grant, and we surveyed all the contestants who said they were least likely to win the game.
Baz is in the soundproof booth right now.
They're just going to do the tie-ins, I can see it now.
Oh, God, yes, Channel 10. And I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. So you'll have Julia Morris and the sexy vet guy out there. Like, doing... What's his name? Chris Brown? Is it? No,
yep,
that's the
Dr.
guy
Chris
who
Brown.
bashes Rihanna. Oh, no, it is Chris Brown. All right. Never mind. It's easy to get the rapper and the vet confused of Chris Brown. I don't know. What were we talking about at this point?
Romances.
Oh, romances. Yeah, not a fan. Like, I don't care. So, I'd rather... I honestly don't care. Like, unless it's like, if there are like fat people on the show and the fat people fall in love, like, that's sweet. Like, I don't need...
That should be a reality show, fat people fall in love.
I don't... Well, I mean, God, how many love shows are there now? It's like Kiss at First Sight and I'm going to marry you at first sight, and there's that one now where they have sex in a box and then they, like, come out and talk about it. Like, you know, this is like... Wasn't the 1980s when they had, like, Perfect Match with that robot or something? Like, why have we gone full circle? They don't need it on Survivor. And all it's going to be is the sexy blonde chick with the buff football player, and we're all going to be like, oh, it's so sweet. And it's like, they just want to bone each other.
And
like,
the tabloid media is going to eat it up.
And one of them will be in a relationship back home, and all their exes will come out and be a new idea the following week saying, oh, he's got a small penis. So, like, you know, just no.
It will dominate the public, which is upsetting. Ryan, you love romance.
Yeah, not much more to add. Like, the same. I'm not a big fan of seeing romances on Survivor. I think we'll see how it plays out, but yeah, hopefully there's some kind of betrayal and we have a happy ending to that.
Yeah, maybe we can, like, someone will cheat on another person on the island or something, and then they'll vote them out and break the match.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I thought you were my mate. No.
Yeah. That's going to be our hashtag. Hashtag break the mateship. We don't want the mateship.
Are we going to have, like, great hashtags this season?
Oh, yeah, we're going to have hashtag 30 cats or whatever it was. No, what was it? Hashtag meow.
Meow meow or something, wasn't it? Or...
Yeah, as long as we get Hashtag Survivor Breakdown. I'm happy. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the updated news. A lot more than I thought, because it's only been like 3 weeks since our last one. And I didn't think we'd be doing another one so soon. And I'm sure in another 3 weeks we'll probably have more info. But I feel like, because Ben, you weren't on the last episode, we should get some of your thoughts and opinions on just some of the little things. Like, obviously we did a whole episode, but just if you want to summarize some of your thoughts on some of the things we discussed, such as the season is going to be 55 days long. That was a big talking point. We also talked about how it's a $500,000 cash prize for the winner. What else? That was the main things we discussed.
And just mateship. Oh, yeah.
What was that?
Just mateship as well, we talked about.
Oh, yeah, mateship. We talked about that. Jono, we talked about that. So, pretty much 55 days, Ben, a $500,000 prize, and anything else on any of the other news. Oh, Samoa was the other thing. So, yeah, those three things. 55 days, Samoa, and $500,000 prize.
Nothing to add on Samoa. We've seen it 17,000 times in the US version, so, like, unless they're filming in, like, the city, like, I mean, it's going to be nothing new.
But it looks pretty good on the videos.
Oh, I mean, Samoa always looks good. I mean, you know, again, like, bringing Sexy back looked good on the outside, but it was shit. So, like, I'm sure if I deep fried a piece of turd and, like, put some, like, garnish on top of it, it would look nice, but doesn't make it nice. Nothing against Samoa.
Ben's
like,
back,
it's a nice country, I'm sure. Like, good on you, Samoa, for being around. 55 days... I mean, why do we need it for that line? I don't know. Like, if Ryan or myself were successful, would we be excited for 55 days, Ryan? I mean,
no, I'd hoping to be like South Africa. What was that, 27 days? Just nice and short.
Because you'd get to like day 39 and you'd be like, fuck, I should be winning this right now. Like, still 10 more people. Like,
yeah.
You know, so, I mean, again, it'll be interesting. I think the Italian one, when, I think they went for about 70 or 80 days, so it's not the longest ever, but, you know, Australians are tough motherfuckers, so good on them for doing that. $500,000, I mean, obviously, it's sad that we don't get $1 million. It's better than $250,000.
We were angry because the big failure was $1 million prize.
Well, that's true. That was that one that we all loved, and we all know the winner of that. But it's actually interesting because you know, within the last day of recording this, Noah and I have had another lovely mandate, and we started talking about the Amazing Race Oz, Australia versus New Zealand, available now via SurvivorOz.com. And I happened to go back and listen to the very first episode, and in that we're talking about the $250,000 prize. And Noah, you bring up a very good point in that episode, where you say on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, every night, technically they could give away $1 million. And that's just for a half-an-hour game show. So this is for 55 days. Like, if I was one of these people and I, like, got back and I won it, and I won $500,000, I switch on Channel 9 and he's, you know, Baz's dog, Bimbo, winning $1 million, I'd be pissed off because he's sat in a chair for half an hour answering questions. I've lived for 55 days eating, like, worms. So, but, I mean, it's, the American version after tax is only about $630,000. I guess that's US, so for us that's still close to $1 million. But, you know, I mean, $500,000 is better than $250,000. But, yeah, it's a shame that they can't make it $1 million. I mean, it's not like, you know, Channel 10 are not doing as bad as they were a couple of years ago. I mean, just, you know, pay Grant Denyer a little bit less each week and you've got $1 million.
Yeah, I think I said on the episode, it doesn't really bother me as long as they still play hard. Like,
I would be happy with $500,000. Like, if I won $500,000, I'm not going to be like, oh, no, it's not $1 million, I don't want it. Like, it's, I mean, that goes pretty far, but, you know.
At least they told them this time, unlike when Rob Dixon was getting angry at them live on air for not getting $1 million. So, yeah, that's pretty much the update. Do you have anything else to add, Ryan? I feel like we've pretty much covered all the information from then to now.
No, I think we've gone through everything pretty well. So, yeah, that was a really good wrap. And I think, like you said, there's going to be so much more information that comes out over the next couple of weeks. Once people get back and, you know, word starts getting out. Like, I think even from this advert that we saw, that maybe we might start getting news about who these players are and links like that. So, yeah, really excited to finally see the show in hopefully only in a couple of months' time.
Well, you have to imagine that some people will know who these people are, like watching the promo on TV.
Yeah, surely.
These people have family and friends.
If they're Tasmanian, you know that it's going to be like front page of the Mercury tomorrow. So
It's going to dominate our media, and they'll be like the face of Tasmania. Yeah, there won't be any Tasmanians on there. But yeah, maybe in the coming days, people will start coming out and say, yeah, I know that. That's Bazza or that's Shazza. So we may even get some updates on that. I just hope... I don't know if Australian Survivor has spoilers, but I hope... I mean Australian reality, but I really hope there's no spoilers. But no doubt, like news.com.au will tell us the winner or something. But yeah, exciting times. We'll probably be doing one of these once every 3 or 4 weeks up until the premiere. And when the cast comes out, we'll do a cast announcement. And then when the show starts, we'll no doubt be doing episodes every like either live after the episode airs, or at least 2 episodes on Australian Survivor every week. So it's going to be an exciting time. It's really starting to gear up, and this thing is actually happening. Fingers crossed it is not a complete, absolute failure. So yeah, stay tuned for more updates and more features on Australian Survivor and regular Survivor.
regular
Survivor. Try and keep you updated on. We're going to be having a bit of change when MILFs versus GILFs starts up, so we'll keep you updated on everything like that. But yeah, Ryan, thanks for joining us once again for an Australian Survivor episode.
No, thanks very much.
Very exciting time to be a Survivor fan.
Yeah, no, thanks very much for having me, and great to talk to you and Ben. So fantastic.
Yes, you mentioned that, Ben. Bit of an anticlimactic return episode, but we were bored and this trailer came out, so we wanted to record. But you're back. When will we hear you again? And do you have any parting thoughts?
Oh, I'm disappointed it wasn't like the very special episode, Ben Waterworth's return. You know, we sit down with Ben to find out where he's been and what he's up to. When will I return? The 17th of July at 1600 hours. I don't know.
I'm holding you to that.
I couldn't tell you. When are we doing the next episode?
17th of July at 1600 hours.
Look, you know, I'll check my busy schedule. But it's been fun to come back and talk about this. And yes, thank you for having me on your show, Noah.
And if your internship goes well, we may hire you as a full-time Oslet, but don't get your hopes up.
Okay, I won't keep my fingers crossed.
And anything else you want to plug? 007, is that a thing that happened?
Well, you guys did an episode the other day, so when's that coming out?
That was just for my fun.
Okay. What do I have to plug?
Well, we did a commentary for that, but we all know how commentaries end up. We'll get to nine things into it and then just stop.
The Brink Unleashed 5. Watch the trailers. They're fun. And the movie,
the trailers?
If you want to watch it, send me a message and I'll send you the link.
Yes, and you can watch Ben's video/audio podcast.
Oh yeah, what's that? I recorded that at like 4 o'clock in the morning, so just letting you know.
Which already he's gone back on some of the things he said, because I'm talking to him right now on a recorded episode.
Yes.
But we're happy to have
Ben Waterworth, the serial liar.
Yeah. That's on your business card. Well,
yes.
On your Facebook, I don't know. Anyway,
I have a business
we should
card.
wrap up. Yeah, it's on your business, your internship business card. Yeah, let's wrap up. Hey, maybe Ben, seeing as you're back, seeing as I always suck at ending episodes, I can start the things, I can keep them going, but I can never end them. Why don't you end out the show, tell people to subscribe and see us on the train and things like that. Go.
Subscribe and things like that. See you on the train and go.